The thing about being invisible in your own family is that you get really good at documentation. Every text ignored, every birthday forgotten, every dollar spent trying to buy the love that was never coming. I'm Maya, 32, and I've been the family scapegoat since my sister Brooke was born. She's 3 years younger. Always prettier. Always louder. Always the one who mattered. Golden child, doesn't even begin to cover it. My parents worship her. My aunts and uncles fawn over her. Even the cousins treat her like she hung the moon. Me. I'm the boring accountant who lives alone and apparently has nothing interesting to contribute to family conversations. Except that's not quite accurate. I'm a senior financial analyst at a tech firm in Seattle. I make $187,000 a year. Her mortgage, her car payment, her credit cards, her daughter's private school tuition, her husband's business loan payments. All of it. She doesn't know. She thinks her husband Marcus's consulting business covers everything. Marcus knows I help with a few things, but has no idea about the full extent. My parents don't know, and all they think Brooke and Marcus are financially successful. The truth, Marcus's consulting business brings in maybe $31,000 a year. Brooke works part-time at a boutique for $22,000. Together, they make about $53,000 annually. Their expenses, try $178,000. I've been covering the $125,000 gap for 4 years straight. Why? Because 4 years ago, Brooke called me crying. She was pregnant. Marcus's business was failing. They were about to lose their house. "You're my sister," she sobbed. "You're the only one I can count on. Please, Maya. Just for a few months until we get back on our feet." I believed her. I thought it was temporary. I thought she'd appreciate it. I was wrong on both counts. Christmas Eve started the way it always does in our family, with me arriving early to help Mom set up, while Brooke was too busy to come until dinner time. I brought homemade peppermint bark that took me 3 hours to make. Mom barely glanced at it before asking if I could run to the store for whipped cream because Brooke's favorite pie needed it. When I got back, Brooke had arrived in a brand new outfit designer, judging by the Zimmerman tags I glimpsed when she took off her coat. She looked stunning as always, her blonde hair in perfect waves, her makeup flawless. Her daughter Emma, 4, wore a dress that probably cost more than my entire outfit. "Maya." Brooke air-kissed me without actually touching my cheek. "God, you look tired. Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Just finished a big project at work. Still at that tech company, crunching numbers." She said it like I worked at a fast food restaurant. Marcus says accounting is becoming obsolete with all the AI stuff now. I didn't mention that I just received a $35,000 bonus last week, or that my company had offered me a promotion to Director of Financial Planning, which would put me at $220,000 annually. Instead, I smiled. "How's Marcus's business going?" "Amazing." Brooke beamed. "He just landed 3 new clients. We're thinking about upgrading to a bigger house next year, maybe something in Bellevue with a view." I did the math in my head. Her current mortgage, which I paid, was $4,100 a month. I said nothing. Dinner was the usual production. 14 people crammed around Mom's dining table, parents, Brooke's family, our Aunt Linda and Uncle Jim, our cousins, Sophie and Ethan with their partners, and Grandma Rose, who kept calling me Rebecca, my mother's name. The food was incredible, as always. Mom had outdone herself with prime rib, garlic mashed potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts, and 3 kinds of pie. Conversation flowed around me like I was a stone in a river. Brooke held court at one end, talking about Emma's dance classes and Marcus's booming business. I sat between Aunt Linda and Cousin Ethan's girlfriend, whose name I'd already forgotten. Aunt Linda asked politely about my job. Before I could answer, Brooke's voice carried down the table. "Maya, didn't you say you were working on Christmas Eve? That's so sad. Don't they give you holidays off?" "I chose to work," I said calmly. "Year-end. Closing. It's our busy season. Still, seems like they'd make exceptions for holidays." Brooke shook her head, sympathetically. Marcus would never miss Christmas Eve with his family. That's why he built his own business flexibility and freedom. I took a sip of wine and said nothing. The conversation moved on. Brooke announced that Emma had been accepted into an accelerated program at her private school, the one whose $2,400 monthly tuition I paid. Everyone congratulated her. Mom literally teared up with pride. She gets her intelligence from Brooke, Mom said, squeezing my sister's hand. Always so bright, even as a baby. I graduated summa cum laude from the University of Washington with a degree in finance. Brooke dropped out of community college after one semester. But sure, Emma gets her intelligence from Brooke. Dessert came out 3 pies, arranged beautifully on the sideboard. As I reached for a slice of apple pie, Brooke's voice cut through the chatter. Oh, Maya, before I forget, can you spot me $2,000? Emma's dance competition is coming up, and the costumes are more expensive than I thought. The table went quiet. All eyes on me. Actually, Brooke, I'm not able to do that right now. Her face fell. What? Why not? I'm not in a position to loan money at the moment. It's not a loan, it's family helping family. She laughed, but it sounded forced. You literally never do anything with your money. No kids, no husband, you barely travel. What else are you spending it on? My jaw tightened. My money is my business. Wow. Okay. Brooke looked around the table like she was calling for witnesses. This is really unlike you, Maya. You've always been there for me. I have been there for you. Then why are you being weird about $2,000? It's not like I'm asking for your kidney. I opened my mouth to respond, but Dad cut in. Maya, it's Christmas. Family helps each other. His tone suggested the subject was closed. I felt the familiar heat rising in my chest, the sensation of being cornered, of being the bad guy for having boundaries. I pulled out my phone under the table, opened my banking app, and navigated to recurring payments. You know what? Brooke's voice had taken on an edge. I'm so sick of you acting like you're better than everyone. You sit there all quiet and judgy like you're above it all. I haven't said anything. Exactly. You never say anything. You just sit there with your sad little life, making everyone uncomfortable. At least I actually contribute to this family. I gave Mom and Dad a granddaughter. What have you given them? My thumb hovered over the first payment cancellation. Maya, seriously, I'm worried about you. Brooke's voice had shifted to fake concern. You're 32 and alone. You work all the time. You never go out. And now you're being stingy with family. Like, are you depressed? Aunt Linda shifted uncomfortably beside me. I saw Mom about to say something. Then Brooke delivered the final blow. You're always begging for money. She screamed, standing up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. Every family gathering, it's, can you help with this? Can you contribute to that? We all see it. Maya, stop pretending you're some generous saint, when really you're just desperate for attention. 14. Relatives stared at me in absolute silence. The words hit me like physical blows. Begging for money. Desperate for attention. I've asked my family for money exactly 0 times in my entire adult life. Brooke has asked me 127 times in 4 years. I know because I documented every single request in a spreadsheet. Something in my chest cracked open. Not sadness. I looked down at my phone. 5 recurring payments visible on the screen. Asterisk Brooke's mortgage, $4,100. Month asterisk Brooke's car payment, $847. Month asterisk Brooke's credit card, $1,200 month minimum payment on her $43,000 balance. Asterisk Emma's private school, $2,400 month asterisk Marcus's business loan, $975 month total, $9,522 per month, $114,264 per year. I'd been doing this for 4 years and 2 months. The math was devastating. $119,463. I tapped the first cancellation. Mortgage payment canceled. Effective immediately. My phone felt incredibly light in my hand. Tap. Car payment canceled. Tap. Credit card cancelled. Tap. School. Tuition cancelled. Tap. Business loan. 5 taps. 4 years of financial support gone. Maya. Mom's voice seemed to come from very far away. Honey, are you okay? I looked up. Brooke was still standing, her face flushed with self-righteous anger. Everyone else looked uncomfortable, like they wished they could be anywhere else. I'm fine, I said quietly. My voice didn't waver. Actually, I'm better than fine. Don. Don. Done with what? Brooke snapped. Done being weird and making everything about you. Her phone buzzed on the table between us. The screen lit up with a notification. Credit card payment declined, account past due. Please contact. Brooke grabbed her phone, frowning. What the hell? I took a sip of wine and cut into my pie. The apple filling was perfect, tart and sweet at the same time. Maya, what did you just do? Brooke's voice had gone very quiet. I stopped begging for money, I said. Her phone buzzed again. This time, 3 notifications in quick succession. I couldn't see the details, but I could imagine them. The bank always sent alerts immediately when scheduled payments failed. Marcus pulled out his phone. His face went pale. Brooke? What's going on? Beth? Demanded. I set down my fork and looked at my sister directly for the first time that night. Brooke, you just spent 5 minutes screaming at me in front of our entire family, calling me a beggar who's desperate for attention. You humiliated me at Christmas dinner. I didn't. You did. In front of 14 people, so I made a decision. I kept my voice level and calm. For the past 4 years, 2 months, and 11 days, I have been paying your mortgage, your car payment, your credit card bills, Emma's private school tuition, and Marcus's business loan payments. The table erupted. What? You've been what? Maya, is this true? I ignored everyone except Brooke, whose face had gone from flushed to chalk white. I have documentation of every single payment. Every request you made, every promise that it was just temporary or just until we get back on our feet. I have texts, emails, and bank statements going back for years. Maya, let me explain, Brooke started. I calculated the total this morning. Actually, wanted to review my yearly expenses. The grand total is $119,463. That's how much I've given you, not loaned, given over the past 4 years. Marcus looked like he might throw up. Brooke, you told me your parents were helping with some things. ... Double quotes. Brooke's voice was barely a whisper. I didn't know it was that much. You didn't know because you never asked. You never said thank you. You never once acknowledged that I was supporting your entire lifestyle. Instead, you showed up tonight in a designer outfit, talked about upgrading to a bigger house, and then screamed at me for begging for money. Tears were streaming down Brooke's face. Now, Maya, please. I didn't mean. I just canceled all 5 recurring payments. Effective immediately. Your mortgage payment was due to process tomorrow, Christmas Day. It won't. Your car payment, credit card minimum, Emma's tuition, and Marcus's loan payment were all scheduled for this week. None of them will go through. You can't do that. Brooke's voice cracked. We'll lose everything. Then I guess you'll have to figure out how to live within your means. Marcus makes $31,000 a year. You make $22,000. That's a combined household income of $53,000. Your expenses are $178,000 annually. Even without my help? That math doesn't work. Mom had her hand over her mouth. Dad looked between me and Brooke like he couldn't process what was happening. Maya, please. Brooke was fully crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean what I said. Please don't do this. Emma needs her school. We need our house. Please. Something in my chest that had been clenched tight for years finally loosened. I needed my sister, I said quietly. I needed my family to see me, to value me as more than a wallet. I needed to be invited to things because you wanted me there, not because you needed my money. I needed someone to remember my birthday. I needed someone to ask how I was doing. I needed basic respect and kindness. We do respect you. Mom burst out. Of course we do, sweetie. No, you don't. I turned to her gently. Mom, when's my birthday? She opened her mouth, closed it. It's in the summer, September 17th. I turned 3 months ago. No one called. No one texted. Brooke was at a spa weekend you paid for, and you posted 16 pictures on Facebook about what an amazing daughter she is. The table had gone silent again. I spent my birthday alone in my condo, eating takeout and finishing a work presentation. A woman from my gym someone. Primera ba no saw me buying a cupcake at the grocery store and sang happy birthday to me in the parking lot. A complete stranger showed me more kindness than my family. Aunt Linda made a small sound beside me. I don't want revenge, I continued. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want peace. And I go have peace while I am being financially exploited and emotionally neglected by the people who are supposed to love me. We do love you. Brooke sobbed. I love you. You're my sister. Then, show me. Not by promising to change, by actually changing. Get your finances in order. Live within your means. Value me for who I am, not what I can provide. And most importantly, stop treating me like I'm invisible unless you need something. Brooke's phone was buzzing continuously now. Marcus had his head in his hands. I stood up, my legs steady despite my racing heart. I'm going home. Thank you for dinner, Mom. It was delicious as always. Maya, wait. Dad started. I need space. From all of you, don't call me, don't text me, don't show up at my condo. If you want to rebuild a relationship with me, it starts with respecting my boundaries. I picked up my coat from the back of my chair. As I walked toward the door, I heard Brooke whisper to Marcus, "What are we going to do?" His response was quiet but clear. "We're going to have to sell the house." I didn't stop walking. The Uber driver who picked me up must have sensed I needed silence. He didn't try to make small talk, just drove me back to Capitol Hill while soft jazz played on the radio. My phone started buzzing before I even got home. First Brooke, then Mom, then Dad, then Marcus. I turned it to silent and watched the city lights blur past my window. My condo was quiet and dark when I arrived. I turned on my gas fireplace, poured myself a glass of the expensive Cabernet I'd been saving, and sat on my couch in the peaceful silence. Around 10 p.m., I opened my laptop and looked at the spreadsheet I'd been keeping for 4 years. Every payment documented, with date, amount, and purpose. Every text, request, screenshot, and saved. Every promise Brooke made to pay me back or get her finances together. I'd been prepared for this moment longer than I realized. My phone showed 43 missed calls and 67 text messages. I didn't read them. Instead, I opened my email and found the message from my boss about the promotion. Director of Financial Planning, $220,000 annually. Start date, January 5th, 10th. I'd been putting off accepting it because the role required occasional travel, and I was worried about being available if Brooke needed me. I hit reply and typed, "I'm honored to accept. Thank you for this opportunity. Send." Then I opened my banking app and looked at my accounts. Without Brooke's expenses, I'd been spending $9,522 per month on her family. That was $114,264 annually. What could I do with an extra $114,264 per year? I could max out my 401k and IRA. I could buy a vacation property. I could travel to Europe like I'd always wanted. I could donate to causes I cared about. I could live my life instead of funding someone else's fantasy. The realization hit me hard. I'd been working 2 jobs, my actual career and being Brooke's secret benefactor. Now, I only had 1 job and I'd just gotten a $33,000 raise at it. I was going to be fine. Better than fine. My phone lit up with a call from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Maya, a woman's voice, familiar, but I couldn't place it. "It's Jessica Chun. From the gym, Jessica. The woman who sang to me in the parking lot on my birthday. Hi Jessica, I hope this isn't weird, but I just wanted to check in. You mentioned a few weeks ago that you were dreading Christmas with your family. Y just wanted to make sure you're okay. My throat tightened with unexpected emotion. This woman barely knew me, and she was checking on me. I'm okay, I said. Actually, I'm better than okay. I just set some boundaries I should have set years ago. Good for you. I could hear the smile in her voice. Listen, a group of us are getting together for brunch tomorrow, Christmas Day. Nothing fancy. Just mimosas and pancakes at Lynn's place. You're welcome to join if you want. No pressure. I don't want to intrude. You wouldn't be intruding. We'd love to have you. Lynn makes these incredible stuffed French toast things. And frankly, we could use another person who is going to spend the whole time talking about their marathon training. I laughed, surprising myself. What time? 11. I'll text you the address. After we hung up, I sat in the glow of my fireplace and felt something I had unfelt in years. Lightness, like I'd been carrying a piano on my back and had finally set it down. My phone buzzed with Jessica's text, the address and a gif of a cartoon pancake doing a happy dance. I smiled and added her contact to my favorites. Christmas morning, I woke up to 127 new notifications. I didn't look at them. Instead, I showered, put on jeans and a soft sweater, and drove to Lynn's house in Fremont. The brunch was exactly what I needed. 7 women, all roughly my age, sitting around a table loaded with food and laughing until we couldn't breathe. They welcomed me like I'd always been part of the group. No one asked invasive questions. No one needed anything from me. Lynn's French toast was, as promised, incredible. Around those p.m., my phone rang with a call from a number I didn't recognize, but with a 206 area code. I stepped into Lynn's hallway to answer. Maya? Rodriguez. Speaking. This is Jennifer Walsh. I'm an attorney. Your sister Brooke hired me to contact you about a family matter. My stomach dropped. Already? It's Christmas. She was quite insistent. She's claiming that the money you've been providing was a loan, not a gift, and that you've violated the terms of your verbal agreement by canceling payments without notice. She's also claiming emotional distress. I felt that old familiar panic start to rise then. I remembered the spreadsheet. Ms. Walsh, I have 4 years of documentation. Every single request Brooke made was phrased as asking for help, not loans. She never signed a promissory note. There was never any discussion of repayment terms or interest. And I have texts where she explicitly says, I know I can count on you and family helps each other without keeping score. I see. Furthermore, I'm an adult with complete control over my finances. I'm not contractually obligated to continue giving anyone money, regardless of how long I've been doing it. And if Brooke wants to claim emotional distress, I have documentation of years of emotional neglect and financial exploitation. There was a pause. Would you be willing to send me that documentation? For what purpose? Full disclosure, your sister is my client, but I'm not going to pursue a case that has no merit. If what you're saying is accurate, I'll advise her accordingly. I gave her my email address and said I'd send everything within the hour. Ms. Rodriguez. Off the record. Yes. Good for you. I see a lot of family financial exploitation in my practice. Most people never set boundaries. After we hung up, I went back to Lynn's living room. Jessica took one look at my face and said, Everything okay? My sister hired a lawyer. On Christmas, Jesus, it's fine. I have documentation of everything. Jessica squeezed my shoulder. You're tougher than you. Look, you know that? I stayed at Lynn's until evening, helping clean up and exchanging numbers with the other women. Sophie, who worked in HR, mentioned her company was hiring financial analysts and asked if I knew anyone. I said I'd keep it in mind. Walking to my car, my phone buzzed with an email from Jennifer Walsh. Received your documentation? I'll be advising your sister that she has no case. I've also recommended she'll not contact you further without your explicit consent. Best wishes. I sat in my car and cried for 10 minutes, not from sadness, but from relief. For years of carrying an impossible weight, and I'd finally put it down. New Year's Eve, I was sitting in my condo working on a financial plan for myself, properly investing that extra $114,264 per year when my phone rang. Mom, I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Maya. Her voice was thick with tears. Please, let me talk. Just for a minute. I'm listening. I failed you. As a mother, I completely failed you. I was so focused on Brooke. She's always been so dramatic, so needy, and I thought you were fine because you seemed so capable. But that's not an excuse. You needed me too, and I wasn't there. I said nothing, letting her continue. Your father and I went through our finances with Brooke and Marcus. We had no idea how bad it was. We thought his business was successful. We thought they were doing well. We didn't know you were supporting them. Because no one asked about anything. About my job, my life, my challenges. I was just the stable one who didn't need attention. I know. And I'm so sorry. She took a shaky breath. Brooke and Marcus are selling the house. They're moving into a townhouse they can actually afford. Emma is switching to public school, which honestly might be better for her anyway. That private school was pretentious. And Brooke got a full-time job. Good. They're going to pay you back. It'll take years, but they want to set up a payment plan. I don't want their money. Mom. But you said I wanted respect, recognition, boundaries. I never said I wanted repayment. That money is gone. I made peace with it. But I won't continue to fund their lifestyle or be treated like an ATM machine that occasionally shows up to family events. Mom was quiet for a long moment. What do you want from us? It was the first time anyone had asked me that in years. I want space. I want to rebuild my life without constantly being pulled into family drama. And if we're going to have a relationship going forward, it needs to be reciprocal, not me giving everything and getting nothing back. Can I? Can I take you to lunch sometime? Just us. I thought about it. In a few months, maybe. I need time. I understand. Maya. Yes. Happy New Year. And love you. I'm sorry it took losing you for me to realize how much. After we hung up, I sat looking out my window at the Seattle skyline. Fireworks would start soon, people celebrating new beginnings. I thought about that spreadsheet. $119,463. 4 years of my life. 4 years of hoping that if I just gave enough, did enough, sacrificed enough, my family would finally see me. But you can't buy love. And you shouldn't have to earn basic respect. My phone buzzed with a text from Jessica NYE, party at my place. Low key, come if you want, no pressure. I texted back, I'll be there. Then I opened my laptop and booked a flight to Paris for March. 2 weeks, first class, 5-star hotel. I'd always wanted to see the Louvre, eat real French pastries, walk along the Seine. I was 32 years old. I had an amazing career, a beautiful home, and financial security. And now, finally, I had something else. Freedom. The money was gone. The family dynamic was broken. The relationship might never fully heal. But I was free, and that was worth more than $119,463. That was worth everything.